This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good afternoon, fellow England fans. How the devil are we? Nervous yet? Tense, nervous, headache. I tell you what, it's the Germans. Bring them on. Kicking off in, just under 3 hours-ish. We should all start getting excited. Get the beers in. Get the pizza on order. You might want to get 2 pizzas on order, just in case it goes to penalties.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
It might do. It might do. Now, a bit of difference is a Leicester War show with a little bit of an England twist here, because we're coming up to a huge game, and the problem is, I think, if you've got a manager of your club, and he's not very popular. We've had Puel, we've been there. You get 50-odd thousand fans go, we want him out. England manager, you multiply that by 92, and it's a hell of a job. But what kind of job is Southgate doing? Good, bad, ugly? We're going to get a couple of people on in a minute. One that says he's doing an okay job, and maybe he should stick with us. And one who isn't as happy. We'll bring them in straight after.
Let battle commence.
it's the Leicester War Show
On Leicester Till I Die TV.
But who will win? Join in now.
Who will win indeed? We are on YouTube at Leicester Till I Die TV. Please press my buttons, whichever one you want. We are grateful. I just like my buttons to be pressed. Facebook, Leicester Till I Die, the group, and Twitter at LeicesterTid. Going to bring this gentleman in. Please, please, please be sympathetic with him, because he is an Arsenal fan. So he's actually, he's, you got to have sympathy with these fans of smaller clubs, haven't you? When they struggle. Stephen, good evening. How the devil are you, sir?
Yeah, great. I love the introduction of that one.
you come on. You weren't expecting anything less, were you?
Not by you at all.
Well, I'm glad I didn't disappoint. Stephen, all your details are in the description below, but I know you do a hell of a lot of charity work for children's liver problems and charities. Give us a quick talk about it and how people can support it.
So basically, the channel that we do now, it's all monetized and everything. Is the money that's raised from the charity channel goes to Children's Liver Disease Foundation. They support research, respite for families, and everything on top towards liver disease. So, if you want to support and donate, either watch the streams, either put a super chat donation in, or do it via the Just Giving page. It's even better because it all goes directly to the charity, or become a member, because we set up the membership scheme as well. So.
Brilliant. Guys, go and support Stephen. All his details are below in YouTube on the YouTube description. So give him a support. And Brad's thinking like, how do I follow that? You come in, Brad. Good evening. Good evening. I do it all the time. Good afternoon, Brad. Follow that.
Good evening, good afternoon, and hold my beer because England have got to match up to yesterday's performances by Croatia and Spain and Switzerland and France. That was some impressive football that's got to be followed today. I can't top Steve's introduction to the show. All I can say is, whilst you're checking out his channel, just make sure before you leave this one, you hit the subscribe button and stick around long enough to help us each our channel so we can start getting monetized and start bringing you even better quality content here at Leicester TV.
We are 30 hours off hitting our target for hours watched, and it's a bit like watching Leicester Arsenal. It's excruciatingly slow, but hopefully we get a result at the end. Pete,
I would just put Arsenal and just put Arsenal there. That's how it is.
Oh, to be honest with you, I could have just as much fun with a Tottenham fan, couldn't I? Let's be honest with you.
Yeah, you got a point.
I mean, be honest. Let's be honest. We've waited like a couple of 100 years to get to this point, guys. Don't spoil it for us. Peter, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Let's go through them all. We can see which side of the fence you're on. To negative. Melina, hello, good evening, good afternoon. I'm doing it. If I say good evening, I mean good afternoon. It's force of habit. Hello, thanks for joining us. Doug, how the devil are you, sir? You did type that before I brought you in, Brad, so he wasn't leaving you out. So don't worry.
He just doesn't like me. He didn't bring me in. That's
and Melina, I mean, she just shows how good women are. You see, I mean, she's in Canada.
That's too negative. Trust me, you ain't met me yet. Jesus.
It's probably about 5 o'clock in the morning over in Canada, and she still manages to get it right with good afternoon. Yeah. But nice to have you along, Melina. Hey, look, Southgate. Big game coming up this afternoon. There are rumours and murmurings that he's probably not the most popular England manager that we've ever had. Yeah. Stephen, you're used to unpopular managers. Sorry, and I'm not having a dig there, but you are. But you don't think he's the man? I mean, we're obviously not going to get rid of him, and we're not saying we should sack him now in the middle of the tournament. That would be silly, but. There's rumours that he's going to be signing a new extended contract, but you don't think he's the man to take us forward?
Not for me. No. And the reasons being is that amount of times in the games we don't look we've not really dominated games like in the group stages. If you look at the group stage, we've not dominated games. We've been very lackluster at times. When we've got the opportunity to, and it's like we're saying, what I'd love to see is what he does today. Has he got the balls to drop Kane and play counter-attacking football? I don't think he has. I don't think he has at all, and that's gonna. I've already said if we play Kane today against Germany, we're not going to win this game. We're not going to win it because we don't.
Honest with you. I would agree with you there. I think the fact of the matter is you have to accept the guy just isn't on form at the moment.
That's the thing. He plays favourite. He's playing players that are on form. Sterling's not really on form. Right? Foden's outplayed him this season. Why is he not starting on the left? Why is Sancho still on the bench? Sancho should be starting, right? Grealish should be starting, right? You can't. There's certain decisions there you can't justify. You really can't. And then they wonder why people are moaning when we're drawing against Scotland and only winning 1-0 against Croatia and Czech Republic. I mean, to be honest, Croatia game, we all liked the first 20 minutes, but what was there after that? Nothing.
I mean, Brad, Stephen makes the point there we're not dominating games, but, we won the league with a lot of 1-0 wins. Arsenal obviously are known, for the used to be called Arsenal 1-0. Does it matter if you dominate a game, if you win in? I mean, what is the guy has played 3 games. He's not lost any games. He's not conceded a goal yet. And yes, we're not scoring, but we top the group. What more can the guy do? As long as we're winning, does it matter on the performance?
No, pure and simple. In a tournament basis, it does not matter how you get the win. I know it's ugly, I know it's boring, and I know it's not to everyone's entertainment. But I've never understood it with fans, and I've got an accountant of West Ham fans, right? Allardyce was their manager, and he played the same sort of football, the hoof ball, the long ball. It was boring, it was ugly to watch, but he got them Europe. And he was still sacked because the owners listen to the fans over everything. And I'm sorry, but if you're one of them people that turns around and says, I would rather us get relegated playing fancy football than get Europe playing dogged, hard, not ugly in this good and the bad. It's ugly football. And I don't want you ever managing a club. I don't want you being a manager of this country, because what's Southgate doing wrong? Hasn't conceded a goal. Every other country has. Hasn't lost the game. Got us through top of the group. Ask France. How did playing aggressive football work for them? They conceded 2 goals in 6 minutes and knocked out on penalties. How did playing aggressive football work for Spain? They got lucky that they had more about them in extra time because they were 3-1 up and cruising. If England go into the last... the way England are playing their football, if they're 1-0 up against the Germans, I'm expecting that to be the full-time result. I'm telling you that now. The way he has to... Don't care that it's boring. I would rather us play boring, conservative football and win 1-0, because guess what? If you do that all the way through the tournament, you lift it up. You don't go out like Netherlands. You don't go out like France. You don't go out like Portugal. You can play expansive football if you want, but it's only good if it works. Guess what? It's not worked for 3 of them.
I tell you, you're almost describing Leicester's end of the season there, aren't you? Get 1-0 up and and hold on to it. But we've got Europe, and that's the point, Stephen, isn't it? Is that, you know, England? It is all tournament football, of course, and I don't think you can judge any England manager on the qualifying groups, because let's be honest with you, you know, all joking aside, you know, Arteta and they could get England out of those qualifying groups. Those qualifying groups now are designed that, I mean, I don't even watch them. I've got to be honest with you, because if we can't get out the qualifying groups, pack our bags and go home. So it is all on tournament football, which is different to a 38-game league season. You know, what apart from the fact that, you know, we haven't gone and demolished and we haven't produced a game where we've won 4-3, but what could Southgate, what more could he have done so far?
I get you. I hear your point, and trust me, like, I'd rather play. I rate George Graham over freaking Arsene Wenger, right? And look at the football he played.
Yeah, well, he was the old. Right? He got you the nickname 1-0, didn't he?
I don't mind like playing boring football, winning 1-0, but even then, defensively, we're not against Scotland. We should have conceded 2 or 3. Right, it's defensively vulnerable still at the back, and part of me feels that if we played like we played. It's all right playing defensive boring football, but you can make it still a great performance defensively. And I do feel at times we've not been very good defensively. We've been very shaky at the back. And so if we went up against the Germans, what would they do? If we went up and did the same performance at the back, we'd have to be 10 times better at the back than playing against Germany today. I'm telling you now, because they'll tear us apart. I mean, what they did to Portugal, yes, they went 2-0 down, but then they tore them apart. So there's a way of playing boring football, but still be a great performance. And
what do you
England
think?
Just not been very good defensively for me.
What do you think, Stephen, of the team that he chose? And I know he had a lot of injuries. There might have been a couple of Leicester players in there. I'm not sure. He put here, and I brought it up earlier, Selko should start. Do you mean Saka or Sancho?
You probably mean Sancho.
Yeah, just clarify that, because to me, Selco are a builder's merchant. So, although having said that, if we're going to build a defence, then maybe we should get Selco in. It's where the trade go, folks. Other DIY shops, of course, are available. But Stephen, and I'll come on to you on this point as well in a second, Brad. But Stephen, the squad that he took, could he have taken a better squad?
Oh yeah. Why isn't Ward-Prowse not in there? I mean, that guy, if you give him a free kick outside the box, he puts it in the net. And he's played an absolute brilliant season he's played an absolute brilliant season for who is it? Southampton, sorry. And Jesse Lingard, for example. Look at the last half of the season he had. Right, he would have been he probably would have been an asset down the left-hand side. Choosing 4 right backs. Why do you need 4 right backs?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think that's the big question that everybody was asking. I mean, Brad, we kind of I think we've had this conversation. I think it was with you that I had that. To my mind, England manager knows his formation, or should know his formation, and he should take the players that fits into that formation. And obviously, we're going to. You're going to quote, well, why isn't this player in? He's playing well for my team, etc. But do we need 4 right backs? Was going into this tournament, nobody's droppable. Should Kane have, even gone along on the form that he was producing?
The problem is, first of all, and we know it, we are very proud of doing it. We're never going to be pleased universally in England, no matter what 26-man squad you're taking. There'd always be someone we'd argue should be there over this person, and this one doesn't deserve it for this reason, and like that. So I don't like getting into the politics of who should go and who shouldn't, because it's not my decision. The thing with the right backs is, I understand it. Predominantly, we had 5 right backs until Alexander got injured. But I think the thing is what England have always lacked in the quality of is on the left side. To me, they've always lacked it, and we struggle in the Premier League to go through teams and go after their first choice left back, who do they have? And that's just it's a struggle to do. It seems to be a weakness in England on that side. And what you do with some of these right backs is you actually have right backs that are very versatile. They can fill in if very necessary on the left. And we've seen it throughout our season, for example, where left and right backs, we've had a Castagna. And I know we're talking different nationalities, but I'm talking the development of a defender through the years, is they've even had to train themselves to be able to fill in at centre back if needs be. These tournaments have come back off the cramped season in England. They've had no recovery time for any potential niggles and injuries. They've had to kind of push on with it. We've had Maguire, we've had Henderson not fit, but taken for the tournament, because we know, despite what we think of them as players, they are strongholds in the dressing room, they're leaders on the pitch, they're needed in that dressing room, and they're needed on the pitch when fully fit. So that's why they were picked. So, and also the thing is, we handled the group stage the way we should have done. We were conservative, we've got the 1-0s. I would argue that had we gone out, which one would you prefer? The 7 points that we got by 2 1-0 wins and a 0-0 draw, or playing attacking football, which is what Scotland, first of all, were expecting from England. They were expecting, if we go at them, they're going to go upwards, and that will leave gaps. Look at the games. Look at the games that have just happened over the last couple of days. At one point, when Switzerland were 3-1 down, they were leaving that many gaps. You had more gaps than you would in a hillbilly's, between hillbilly's teeth in the field. They could have had more,
I wondered where you were going with that, mate.
I have to think about it for a second. But the point is that they were leaving gaps, they were leaving themselves exposed. And at one point, before they turned it around, you were thinking, oh God, if France get a 4th, they're going to end up getting battered and they don't deserve it. Obviously, they had to take chances at 3-1, but that was the game position they put themselves in by being so aggressive. Whereas England made sure they got through the group, didn't exhaust themselves in the conditions, take into account unfortunate events that had happened in the tournament with players, we've seen injuries come a cropper because players are going at it 100 miles per hour and they're pulling up with hamstring injuries. They're missing for a game. They're not in the next round, etc. I think Southgate has now got England into a position where they've got energy in the tank. They've got that backup if it goes the distance, so they won't be as leggy. They're not carrying injuries. They've rotated the team and freshened it up in that midfield. We saw Grealish come in for the last game. Now, if Sancho comes in for this one and gets 60 minutes under his belt, he's going to rejuvenate. And I think Southgate's actually managing his 26-man squad better. It's all well and good saying,
on that point, Brad,
they play 3 games back to back, back to back.
Yeah, at that point, Brad, let me hand it over to Stephen. Otherwise, we'll run out of time on that one answer.
Yeah, you want to play 60 minutes with Sancho against the Germans? That's a great game to do it against. I'd rather do it against this. This is why the friendlies were so important. But he decided in the friendlies, I'm going to play players that I've not picked because what? Oh, well, you didn't get a pick in the squad, so you get a chance. No, those games were there to make sure he had a starting 11 and a formation there. He didn't use that. And then throughout the tournament, you're seeing him trying different things still in a tournament. And that's why, because you haven't prepared. And if you don't prepare, it's the great saying. If you don't prepare,
you're preparing to fail, I think is the
yeah. That's what I'm asking.
That's what you were trying to say. But going into the tournament, like you say, I don't think, I'm guessing from what you're saying there, Stephen, that even going into the tournament, you weren't sort of the biggest Southgate fan. But looking at the stats, and I know Brad's not a fan of stats, but his actual win percent, I couldn't believe when I did this that Fabio Capello's got one of the best win percentages as England manager. Bloody hell, what does that say? But Southgate 63%. I love Terry Venables as England manager, 47.8% win rate. Even Steve McLaren got a better win rate than Terry Venables. Glenn Hoddle, great, 60.7. He's got us to, and I know every tournament's different.
Hang on, Steve McLaren got a better success rate than freaking Terry Venables. Get out of it. I can't believe that's the second.
Yeah, he did.
I would like to see the comparison between the games they managed, though. I don't like these statistics for that reason. A lot of these managers were in the job a lot shorter.
But that's the percentage, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I get
it. I've missed a few out there, and I could have put Sam Allardyce. He's got 100% record. But I told you before, bring back Allardyce. If you
for the Golden Boot as England strikers, he'd get there, wouldn't he?
Yeah, Sven, who you could say, and we're coming on to foreign manager bit in a minute, but as the manager, he got us to 3 quarterfinals in a row, which, let's be honest with you, is damn good, really. Gareth has got us 4th place in the World Cup, Stephen, and 3rd place in the UEFA Nations League. That, again, there's only 3 and 2 teams that were better than us in those tournaments.
I give you that, but it was Colombia and Sweden, let's be honest.
Here's what, sorry?
It was Colombia and Sweden, let's be honest. It wasn't exactly like it was playing like we're playing today, Germany.
France were only playing Switzerland. And at the end of the day,
even the Colombia game, we didn't make it easier for ourselves at all. We didn't make it easy for ourselves at all. And when it came to playing Croatia, it got found out. It got found out of how we were playing.
Yeah,
and we had an opportunity in that game, but we didn't take them.
Looking at today's game,
one
Brad,
thing that's not changed from that game is Kane still won't square it. Sorry.
Kane. Yeah, relying on Kane to square a ball or anything. Yeah.
And don't get me on the fact that Kane was the Golden Boot at the last World Cup, because that was a load of fall-round cervical things. Brad, today's game, he's taken all these right backs. The rumours are, and the prediction is that he's actually going to go 3 at the back.
Oh, God.
With Walker, Stones and Maguire.
Yeah, and I believe he's probably playing a wing-back system, isn't he? That's the
Shaw and
intent.
Trippier, down the sides. Phillips and Rice in the middle. And Kane and Sterling still with Foden. Still no Grealish. Still no Sancho.
Oh,
I mean, how can you
Kane
leave
up
these
front as
players out? You know.
Well, easy, mate, because the squad that he's been putting out got a 7 out of 9 points in the group. That's how you leave them out. They got us out of the group. They got us out of the group. They didn't go doing it. It's very hard to change. What do we always talk about in Leicester when players come back, or better players like, oh, there's someone that's echoing. I can hear myself.
Yeah, I can hear.
I can't hear anything.
No, that's better. That's better. Oh no, I can't hear him.
It's you, Brad.
Still here.
Don't change the winning side. It's the mentality, isn't it? So why would you change a side that's got us through it? Yes, Grealish, you could argue, better than Foden. So what you like about Sterling is the only shot that's put the ball in the back of the net for England. So he can't be doing that bad this tournament if he's the only reason we've got 6 points out of 2 games because he scored goals. I mean, we could have actually got 2 goals in one game, but Harry Kane still hasn't forgiven Sterling, clearly, since 2018 because he won't square the fucking thing to him. Excuse my French, but he could have squared the ball to him when he had that chance, didn't he, Kane? But he was selfish. I agree with Stephen. In this tournament, I think Kane shouldn't be starting. I understand why he's been starting, but I'm now at that point where Kane's a hindrance more than a help for England.
We're playing with 10 men with Kane now. Simple as that. We're playing with 10 men. You play 10 men against the Germans.
Kane needs to get his finger out his arse and start doing something. Right now, he's not offering to England what he's there for. But see, the thing is, I noticed we were all crying out for Grealish, weren't we? For the first 2 games, crying out for Grealish. Look at his performance he put in that 3rd game. He was running around everywhere. He was the pride of England. He was beating the chest. I want to show Southgate that I'm ready for this tournament. But as we've seen throughout, if he does that in this game and he injects Sancho into it and he injects Grealish into it and it's 0-0 and we're looking to break the Germans down, I want to see that fire in the eyes from the players coming on. And I think you get that. And look at the injury record and the tired legs that players have had for other countries that are absolutely knackered. Considering everything they've all just gone through with a cramped season, I get Stephen's point about, while we were playing World Proud and we weren't taking them friendlies, it was to give these guys chances to recover. They had no recovery from the off-season. They just played a 38-game season. To then go straight into friendly would have been ridiculous to some of these players. You'd have broken them. Would have been kicking Southgate out had we played Sancho and Grealish and they got injured in the friendlies. I would rather give someone like Ward-Prowse a chance to sign and maybe give Southgate something to change at the last second. Then go,
but is this not? But Brad, is this not the same problem that every England manager has? Not just it's not just a Southgate thing, is it? Exactly. You know, but
everybody. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, Stephen, going back to, I mean, we all think, you know, Terry Venable should have stayed longer than he did in the job. But before that tournament, Euro 96, Sheringham couldn't hit the barn door from 2 foot. He stuck with him and he suddenly turned around. I mean, if Kane suddenly starts getting a hat-trick against Germany, we're all going to think he's the best thing since sliced bread, aren't we?
Well, yeah, of course. But how long are we going to wait? Because at the minute, I don't want to play 10 men against Germany. And that's what we're going to do if we pick Kane. As simple as that. And we're playing counter-attacking football, and the last thing you want to play is Harry Kane. Right? The guy who couldn't run for a bus.
he certainly doesn't seem to be playing for a move, does he?
No, he couldn't run for a fucking train, mate, honestly. And you want to play him over Calvert-Lewin who can actually run.
I mean,
it counter-attacking football, this is.
It's all about, is it not? I mean, again, I'm older than you guys, and I remember Bobby Robson in the World Cup when we got through to the semis
as well.
You know, yeah, he was the rumours are that the players went up to him and said, "Look, boss, you know it's not working as it is because he struggled." And England are always slow starters in competitions, and he actually changed it. He had the balls to stand there and actually change things round. And of course, we got up to the semis again against Germany. You need, do you not, Brad, a manager with the balls that's going to stand there and go, "Look, yeah, Kane is my top scorer, and Kane may be the one that if he's on the pitch can just nick one when somebody else can't." But you've got to have the balls to make these decisions. Has Southgate got the balls for the job?
See, the problem is, yes, you do have to have the balls if you're going to make a decision like that. But you also have to do it the right way. We all remember that certain game where Golden Boot winner Gareth Lineker was dragged off when the game was 0-0, and he was the one that was firing on all cylinders. I know it's different because Kane right now isn't firing on all cylinders.
Oh,
but
yes,
But like you said, Chris, if we start today against Germany and he heads one in from corner in the first 5 minutes, the thing we do know with Kane from his time at Spurs and his time on the international circuit is whether he's putting 17 past Panama or 2 against France in a friendly, once he gets that goal, it clicks and it clicks and it clicks and it clicks, and the goals turn into gold. They come at a rate with Kane. And the thing is, if you just decide off the back of 3 games to go, right, I'm taking Kane out, you're shit, mate, you're not playing, right, I'm going to play Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's not played a minute for us in the tournament and hasn't got any match time under him. And what happens if Calvert-Lewin has a dog crap 50, 60 minutes? You then go into, what are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're then going to do. You're then going to have to go, hey, Kane, you know I said you were crap, mate? Yeah, well, I'm getting shouted at because you should be playing because you actually know where the back of the net is. Can you get on and actually put in a performance? He's not going to want to. He's going to be like, well, why should I? You took me to the Sharks and fed me to the Sharks. I haven't got the motivation anymore playing for my country. I want to be, but I just don't feel the confidence because you've kicked it out of me. Now you expect me to bail you out.
Yeah,
but on that one, Stephen.
Hold on. It's not so much the fact that Kane's playing poorly. It's the fact that what we're playing. We're playing counter-attacking football here. We're not playing like dominating possession like we could do in the quarters. We could be playing Sweden or Ukraine where we could be dominating the ball. Now in that game, you could play Harry Kane again because we're playing a different style of football, right? Against Germany though, we need pace, and Kane's got no pace. Right?
Granted, I get that, but we also don't know if he's going to play counter-attacking football.
I could be attached to a hospital pump, and I got more pace.
That's very true, mate. That's very true.
Honestly, like,
but we also don't know is he might have just but we don't know how Gareth Southgate's planning to play the knockout stages, because in the group stages we've seen through success of how it's been done, it's better to play cautious. How boring were them first weeks of the Euros? There weren't many entertaining games, were there? There was 1-0 wins, teams were getting it done, or the expected Spain was smashing Slovakia 5-0. Apart from that, the games were very tight. Maybe Southgate has a different approach. We won't see that until 5 o'clock. He might decide to go a bit more aggressive and play more to Kane's strengths. We don't know until the ball's kicked. If you're right, fair enough, then I'll switch my sides if Southgate's going to play Doors dishwater against the Germans, because it's not going to work for 90 minutes. But we don't know. He might have had a plan where he goes, look, lads, I would rather conserve it tactically and frustrate our opponents, get top of the group, keep our levels high so we're not burning out, we're not risking injury, we're doing the clever approach to the groups. You only get one shot in the knockouts. No matter who you play, you only get one shot. You haven't got a chance to recover it against your next opponents. If we play it smart and get through the game, it might not be pretty, but we top our group. Then we go at the Germans or wherever we get with the Portuguese or France.
Stephen, let me ask you this, Stephen, because I seem to remember, and correct me if I'm wrong here, this may not be a Southgate quote when he first maybe got the job, but he was going to pick players in form.
Yeah, that was him.
Now, if you're picking players in form, and I've stood up for Southgate. I'm kind of on the fence, and I'm not against Southgate because of his record so far. And he has actually picked players that past England managers may not have because of the clubs they play for. And I know every fan will sit there and go, yeah, but I wanted this player in, because you do want your own players to be in the England squad. Of course you do. But he has, Phillips from Leeds. Would he have got in under other managers, because Leeds aren't a glamorous club at the moment? But if you're going to play, Stephen, players on form, as he has said, then you can't, I'm sorry, have Kane in there. Sterling, I'm not a Sterling fan at all, and I was very critical of him until he scored, and of course, then he was man of the match for me. But that's different, because he is the one that scored the 2 goals. But like you say, Kane is the big worry for him at the moment. And Gareth, if you are going to say these things, stick to them.
That's the thing. If you're going to come out of your first sprint, it's like when It's like when Arteta came through the door and he said he's going to put his foot down, like with Arsenal. And all of a sudden, players are getting away with breaking COVID rules, right? And God knows what. Right?
Yes.
Some people, some managers like to talk the talk but don't walk the walk. They don't back it, right? And that's where you sort of lose respect from fans. And this is probably why there are people that are Southgate out, because you're saying, oh, yeah, you pick a player on one form. So why don't you pick Ward-Prowse? Why haven't you picked Jesse Lingard? Why haven't you picked these players who have bossed it? I mean, look, me and Braddon was on my channel debating about like having Willock stay at Arsenal, right? Which turned into a massive debate. Let's put it that way. Right, but anyway, and I heard his point. It's like, what Willock has single-handedly kept Newcastle in the damn league, right? He's kept him in the damn league. So, like, obviously, it's not going to be England worth for me. He won't going to be in the England squad, but it's a player in form. But Lingard and Ward-Prowse are players in form. Dean Henderson was injured, right? And we didn't know what he was going to be when he came back. And we still don't know. So that's why I sort of lose any sort of respect, because I'm saying, you said you'd play these players, but you're not. You're playing the players that are in the top 6 or top 7, probably apart from Grealish. Which just doesn't make sense.
No, I get it, and I'm very strong against the fact that that Henderson shouldn't be straight back into that squad. But I understand if you take his character and what he does for Liverpool with how he commands and how. Let's remember, whether you rate Jordan Henderson or not, he was thrusted and almost forced upon the captain armband. He didn't really have a choice. I'm sure he wanted to eventually become the Liverpool captain, but he was literally told, "Here, you're Steven Gerrard now. Take this. You've got to, replicate."
But here's the thing as well. Another one's like Lewis Dunk. He's had a great season for Brighton, right?
Yep.
There's one. No wonder Arsenal's interested in him.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Oh, yeah. My microphone was playing up. I'm going to say Dan from Turfmoor TV. Thanks for I say my microphone. I knocked the desk and it sent everything all over the place. I mean, now whether this is the fact that you're a Burnley fan, but you think England would have gone far under Allardyce? I think if we were playing defensive football under Southgate, guys. I mean, quickly on that point before we move on to a very quick question, would either of you have seen us getting any further with Allardyce? A yes or no answer?
No.
Brad?
What, further than we are now?
Yeah.
That's his. Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay. Okay, I mean, I must admit, I wasn't an Allardyce fan, but like you say, his record stands up, against any other England manager, doesn't it? Let's ask this question. First of all, then, Stephen, what has Southgate, if Southgate beats the Germans, Southgate gets us into the semi-finals. For you, does that give him an extension? Does that get you on side and say this is the guy that could take us forward? What does he have to do for him to be the manager that you want for England?
If he beats Germany, he should be in the final. But I look at that draw, he should be in the final. There's no excuses. You've just seen Holland being kicked out. France being kicked out. You've got Italy, Belgium, Portugal, right? So that's either Italy or Belgium, one of them. Or no, you've got Italy, Belgium, right, and Spain. Sorry. Right? Yeah. So that's either going to be Italy or Belgium or Spain in the semi, right? Or maybe even Switzerland. Then you've got the final itself. If you can't beat either Czech Republic or Denmark in the semi after beating Sweden or Ukraine in the quarters, you should not be an England manager. Simple as that. You need to be in that final now.
Turning it on his head. Yeah, sorry, Stephen. Turning it on his head then, Brad. If Southgate loses badly to Germany, God help us if it's penalties again, and my heart wouldn't stand that.
I'll just say there's one advantage if we do go to penalties against Germany. He's not taking them.
You beat me to that, damn you. You beat me to that.
I knew you were going to say it, that's why.
Anybody know what Pickford's like on penalties? But I've got a heart problem, Gareth, so just remember that, will you? But
could be worse with David De Gea.
If he fails against Germany, and this is a case of when he comes up against the big boys, that is when he struggles, and it's a point that Stephen's made. Belgium, we couldn't get past them twice. Was it Holland? I can't remember. It was in the Nations League, whatever it was. But if he fails against Germany, another big team that he can't do it against, is that then a case of we need to start looking?
I will join the Southgate out if we get beat by Germany, because I'm sorry, Germany are poor. Germany are poor. I know they've got world-class talent, and I've said this on a few streams with you, haven't I, Chris? I've come out and said that they bottled and came bottom of 2018. They were 6 minutes away from being bottom of this group. They are dreadful. They've got an arse scratcher finger licker as their manager. He's weird. I don't understand him, right? And he somehow thinks that Germany are God's gift to football. They are awful under him as manager. They are awful under him.
They've got a manager that's quite the equivalent of a dog.
You know what? If you ever seen SpongeBob, it's like putting Patrick Starr in charge of Germany. I don't know how he does it, but somehow he gets them somewhere. Because really, he's just there like, I got the talented players. Yeah, and you're still nearly finishing bottom for 2 tournaments in a row. If we lose to these, we deserve to go out.
Hang on, guy. I'm just ringing my lawyers. What are we allowed to say? Are we allowed to say that?
If we lose to the Germans managed by these, it's ridiculous. He goes out with me. But I agree with Stephen. If we then beat the Germans with the kindness of how the group goes.
Oh, Brad, you're breaking up a little bit there, mate. You're breaking up. Oh, I saw Brad's finger coming towards the camera. Then I'm thinking, like, where's he putting that? Where is Brad putting his finger? That is the question. Okay, so we can see reasons why he should go. We see reasons why he should go, reasons why he should stay. Let's say if he goes, and this has been my argument, is if he goes, and it doesn't have to be an out of work manager that would replace him, because of course it's a national team job, but who? And I'll come to you first, Stephen, because you're on sort of in the Southgate out branch at the moment. If he goes, and I'm going to bring the odds up here for the next England manager as of yesterday, who would you replace him with? I mean, you know, when you're looking at the top 4 favourites there, Dean Smith, Sean Dyche, Eddie Howe, and Graham Potter, and Chris Wilder, Frank Lampard. I mean, you're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, 6 before you get to somebody that's actually won anything. It doesn't look good, does it? If they're the favourites.
I'll take Graham Potter Arsenal. So
would you take him for England? I mean, you know, he's
why not?
Chris Wilder is going to go into that dressing room. Chris Wilder's going to go into that dressing room having won nothing, and expect these players that have played in, you know, won Champions Leagues and well, not World Cups, but Champions Leagues and FA Cups and Premier Leagues to go. Yeah, you know what you're talking about.
We need an English manager as well. English manager or foreign manager, it still ain't worked. So what's the point in moaning about having an English manager? Because either way, it doesn't work. So
no, I'm not saying an England man. I'm not saying an English. And I agree that. Oh, Brad's gone. I agree that about, you know, I would prefer an England manager, but you know, it is slim pickings there when you look at who's available or who's, you know, even an England manager that's doing things. And foreign managers haven't set the world alight. They've not come in and suddenly got us winning everything. But could Graham Potter really, at this point, in 3 weeks' time, take on the England manager's job and make us successful?
Why not? I mean, we've always said he needs a striker at Brighton, and he'll jump Arsenal in the league. Easy. He plays really good attacking football. And all he needs is a striker. You've seen the amount of chances they create, right? As a Brighton side. The only thing lacking is goals. So if you give him the England squad, what can he do with that attacking football?
Oh, behave. We're not about Graham Potter as England manager, are we?
I'm just saying, what's the problem? I mean, seriously, we've got Gareth Southgate.
What's he done for Brighton? What's he done in his managerial career? I want a guy that's got a reputation, mate. I don't want someone who's had one season.
I understand that, but like people are so obsessed about getting an English manager. Well, if you want an English manager, you ain't going to get one that's won anything, are you?
No, I'm not after an English manager. That's the thing. No, I wouldn't want any.
That's the thing. If there's a foreign manager out there, I'll go for him.
Well, let's have a look, Brad. I mean, it is a fair point, because I must admit, I do think a manager of the national team should be from that country, because you got to understand, you know, did Capello? I mean, I know I couldn't believe those stats, but did he really get what England were about? You know, but so we go past the England managers here. The first foreign manager that's in there is Wenger at 15-1.
Oh, fuck off.
No.
Get out of it.
Say what you mean. Say what you mean, Stephen. Phil Neville's in there at 15-1, for God's sake. But then you have got, and I will go, right, I will say, yeah, I would prefer an England manager, but if it is to say Arsene Wenger, Jose Mourinho 19-1, Conte 14-1, Pep Guardiola, I know 56-1, but these are managers that have actually, they're winners. They know how to win things. And, you know, how often do you see managers, Brad, that come in that can't do it with the big name players at league level? And as good as Potter is, you know, look at Moyes. You know, you could say he could do it at an Everton, but he couldn't do it at a Man United.
Yeah, and look, I'm looking at that list, and it's all, like you said, it's all well and good saying you want an England manager, right? An Englishman to be an England manager. Dean Smith is only just starting with Villa. Fair play, doing a good job, but he's only just starting with Villa. He hasn't really achieved anything. All he's done is keep Jack Grealish, and they've managed to live off staying up last season. Eddie Howe's been out of a job since Bournemouth went down, to my knowledge, hasn't been doing anything. Sean Dyche can handle, you know, well, Sean Dyche, he works off a shoestring budget, doesn't he? So I don't. He has got no experience handling the mantra. Yeah, he hasn't got the mantra of handling players with with egos, you could say, or that. He hasn't got. He couldn't coach a Chelsea or an Arsenal or anything back towards the top of it. No, I don't. I mean, Frank Lampard, who bottled it with Derby and got sacked from Chelsea, is ahead of the odds order over a serial winner in Antonio Conte. Some people at the bookies need to get their heads out the rear end and have a word on themselves if they're getting better odds on Steven Gerrard, who won the Sunday League Scottish Division. Are you having a laugh with me? Honestly, if you want a manager who's on a roll and who knows how to get a team to play counter-attacking football and get the best out of a squad that's not up there with the best, our manager, Brendan Rodgers, is probably a better shout than half of that list, because they've all won sod all. They've all achieved sod all. As far as foreign managers go, Antonio Conte hands down gets it for me, because he's a serial winner who's performed in England.
Can we agree on one thing, both? Yeah. Can we all three of us agree on one thing? Both of you agree what I'm about to say. Please, 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 not Jose Mourinho.
No, definitely not. He looks at it too much. It's definitely not Jose. I can understand why people don't want Jose. But Antonio Conte, he commands respect. He's willing to put the effort in. He's willing to drive them. And he approaches the game in a way that respects it. You know what I mean? Not just on the pitch, but the way he gets his players to be and act. It's just brilliant. If you're going for a foreign manager, you don't want an England manager. I want Antonio Conte there because he knows how to win things, and he's done it in England. Other foreign managers we picked haven't set foot in the Premiership to manage. That's why they failed more times.
I think that's why I've got to agree with you on that point, Brad. Yeah, I mean, Jose Mourinho, I think, you know, he's had his moment. His tactics just don't work, and you know, or his style of management doesn't work anymore. Conte, I get, you know, if you've won something in England and you know how the England game works, you know how it all fits together, I'm all for that. I mean, you know, somebody we haven't mentioned, Box, Alan Pardew. I mean, you know.
Oh, fuck. No.
I think you've got your tongue in your firmly planted in your cheek there, Box. I think, you know. But then this is a silly Brad. What about Brad for England manager?
Go on, I'll take it. Go on.
Can I just
he's coming back out of retirement. He's in the squad.
Just on a side point, do you remember, Brad, years ago we were going? It was before Ranieri, but we were changing managers quite often. And one day, I think it was when we took on Ranieri, and literally every day we tuned in, we were being linked with a different manager. The bookies would have one favourite on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. And I went in and I photoshopped the bookies odds, and I put myself in at 15-1. And people go, "Oh, who's this Chris Forrin? Is he any good?" And I'm like, "Seriously, you're actually going for that?" So maybe we should start a Get Brad In campaign, a fundraising page.
I tell you what, I'll screenshot my Football Manager record as Bournemouth manager, and I'll see if I get better odds than Eddie Howe, because I currently have.
All I'm gonna say is there's no cheats like dodgy lasagna, like to be able to get you anywhere.
Yeah, I can't get
Can I just say that? Can I just say, Dan, you have to remember, as much as you are shouting for this gentleman to be England gaffer, he did predict that North Macedonia were going to win the Euro. So maybe his
North
judgment.
Macedonia beat Germany to get here. They gave me false hopes. It's not my fault.
This is going to go on. I have a feeling that Southgate will get an extension simply because I don't think the FA, personally, I don't think the FA have got the balls to go for a non-English manager again, although Conte, I think, is the one that I would certainly want to get in charge. Wenger, no disrespect to you, Stephen, but I think he's had his day as well. And that was proved at Arsenal. As good as he was, and I loved him when he came over, and I'd love to watch Arsenal play. But managers have to change their style with the way things are going. And Kit, good evening. How the devil are you, sir? Brad will convince North Macedonians to change their nationality to English then. I nearly went and bought a North Macedonia shirt, but it was 40 quid for a joke was too much. it's all it is sort of because of it's Germany. It is a huge game. We're going to say we're never going to sort of be happy with whoever we get as England manager. Let's be honest with you. It is a poison chalice, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's not one of position that you take up with leaps and joys, is it? Unless the pay packet's that good, that might be the only reason you're jumping over it. And even then, sometimes I wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
Just
If you, I'm going to ask you now that if he does go, and I'll come to Stephen first to pick, and please don't say Arteta just because you want him out of Arsenal. But if we sacked him tomorrow, who would you approach? I'm saying here to be England manager, Stephen. Allardyce.
Fuck off, Allardyce.
Julia.
I really want to find a manager, but I can't think of one.
Conte? Would you go for Conte?
Yeah, I'd have a look at Conte, see if he wants it.
See, I speak sense. Stealing my answers.
No, I want him at Arsenal, mate, but it ain't gonna happen, is it?
No. The Spurs could have had him, so I don't know why you couldn't.
No, but like the Spurs have got no. The Spurs have got no ball.
Yeah. Pochettino, Brad, or are you going to go Conte as well?
Why?
Pochettino wants to be everybody's best mate, and he showed that by when he lost the dressing room at Spurs. He tried to get them to be all his bestie pal and didn't actually manage them and motivate them.
Why are you suggesting a manager who cost PSG the title when they were top when he took over?
Yeah, I'd want.
Point, yeah.
He's got Tottenham mentality all over. He's a professional bottler, that guy.
Yeah, the only. How do it's like a joke, isn't it? Question: how do you stop PSG winning the Farmers League? Answer: hire a Tottenham manager. That's how they did it. I would honestly, I've said it. I don't care if he's not English. He's got experience in the Premier League. He's a serial winner. He's got the right mentor for the job. Antonio Conte. If we get rid of Southgate, go for Conte. Get him in. If we don't have him in charge.
Dan, Mike Bassett for a second stint. Yeah, let's have him back. It worked with Pearson at Leicester.
We just don't want the Mexicans in our group. We don't want the Mexicans in our group.
Let's just all go for it, guys, because we can play 4-4.
Fucking 2.
Yes.
4 fucking 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all actually three of us in agreement on we wouldn't mind Conte in charge. So we're going to sort of end it on the fact that we're all agreeing on something. Guys, very quick prediction. Thank you both very much for coming on, but let's have a quick prediction. And I say quick here, Brad. You know I mean it. A quick prediction for you first, Brad, for today's game.
2-0 England.
Oof. Oh.
We're not conceding. Oh, my life.
Saying that, we ain't conceding. 2-0 England.
2-0 England for the North Macedonia fan. Stephen?
Do you know what? I said 2-1, but I really want to do this now. 1-1, and we beat them on penalties.
Don't go penalties. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Stop asking people to come on stream, Chris. They're giving you art.
Revenge.
I would absolutely look. Kevin Keegan mode here, aren't I? I would love it. I would love it if we could beat them on penalties.
Look, as long as we beat them, it just means the Scottish are going to fork out another desperate amount for another kit because they're desperate to see England lose. I'd love to see a Scottishman have to look up like the Czech Republic kit just so they have to buy it after losing to them.
You English. You know what you're talking, lad.
Well, I tell you what, in the post-match show this evening, we have got a half Scottish, half German fan, so that's going to be really fun if we lose, isn't it?
Well, we got a skirman.
We got a skirman, yes, yeah.
Skirman and Reese, I'm guessing. I'm guessing that is.
It is Reese indeed, and hopefully he stopped cheering the 0-0 draw. Could it be 5-1 again? Could it be? Who knows? Oh,
but no, we haven't got Michael Owen.
No, and Emil Heskey. Don't forget, even Heskey scored. Guys, thank you so much. I'd love to do it on penalties. I really would, but my heart wouldn't stand it. Stephen, thank you so much for coming
wake
on,
up
mate.
this morning and said that Chris, breaking news on YouTube. Chris was listening to I die passed out of an heart attack watching penalties.
Yeah, if I'm not on the show post match, Brad, if I'm late, bear with me. You know, you'll come live to the camera, and the medics will be there, like on my heart. You know, clear. Stephen, thanks so much for coming on, mate. Again, give a shout out to your great channel and all the hard work you do for the Children's Liver Foundation.
It's SFeatleyTV, and make sure to like, subscribe. You can become a member today to help join the fight for children's against Children's Liver Disease Children's Liver Disease for Children's Liver Disease Foundation. We do football, F1, and Arsenal content. But there's when we keep saying it's an Arsenal channel, it's more of a football channel, to be honest. It's just there to have a laugh while raising money at the same time.
In fairness, I've obviously seen you a lot this season for the first time, and you do as much non-Arsenal as you do Arsenal. I think that might be because you're not very good at the moment. But hey, on that point, I will leave it.
You know what? Just as you leave, mate, it's just got a right there already. Just as you're about to leave.
No. There's for 3 years at the top, and then they all think they're big bollocks. Right?
even Dan here says, "Look how you separate football and Arsenal."
Yeah, because otherwise I go insane.
The thing is, that's even coming from a Burnley fan. That's how bad you've got, Stephen. Hey, Stephen, love it to bits. Good luck with all your charity work. All your details are in the description below on YouTube. Guys, go and give his channel a like. Go and click on those links and get donating. Thanks very much, Stephen. And come on, England. Here's to the win. Cheers, buddy. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Oh, Brad, what's it going to be? Oh, I'm getting nervous already. I'm just trying to keep myself busy, but we're going to do the post match 7:15ish. If I'm still alive and don't have a heart attack.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're talking about an England win. It's going to be a bit difficult if we do all this and England go balls it up Southgate style. That would be so wrong. I'd be starting the show singing Southgate out, but. At least England can't balls up our predictions because the French did that for us. We was on 100% record till they went and lost to the Swiss. We were doing ever so well in our predictions, for this stage of the tournament. So hopefully England can keep us at least 90% right and win and beat the old enemy, as I like to say.
I mean, you can't trust the French to do anything right. I've always said that.
I did say on stream that they like to give up. We shouldn't go for them, but you guys outvoted me. It's Scott's fault, personally. I blame Scott.
You blame Scott. He's not here.
Yeah, exactly. Not here. I can blame him.
Hey, Brad, thanks very much, mate. I will see you, like I say, God willing, heart willing, at 7:15. It will be a bit later if it does go, because we were actually going to do this show last night at 10:15, but the French fucked it up again for us, didn't they, by going to extra time and penalties. And by the time it was over, I was in bed with me sleeping cap and my Bovril. We
will be going live as and when for that. So if England are still playing, obviously we won't be going live because it's pointless trying to do a post match when they're still kicking the ball around.
Exactly, mate. Right. And if we do go live, Luca, love you to bits, but I wouldn't have you on because you're telling the score before it's even. I had to actually leave Stephen's chat last night because Luca was telling me the score before it was actually the penalty was being taken because my stream was behind. Brad, anyway, thanks very much, mate. I will see you post show, whatever time that is, and let's hope it's like Leicester Chelsea in the FA Cup final and we get through.
Yeah, let's hope, mate.
Fingers crossed. Cheers, bud. See you after the show.
No worries. See you later.
Cheers. Thank you. So it's the old enemy this evening. Gareth, up and at them. For those fans that remember Dad's Army, they don't like it up them. So let's get up them. Then again, who does? Let's be honest with you. And I've had the old, you know what I mean. But thanks for joining us. 5 o'clock. We are literally 2 hours, 25 minutes off kickoff. What's the team going to be? Is Kane going to be in there? What we need is this a team of superheroes? Oh, I love that one. Anyway, see you whatever time it is, about 15 minutes after the final whistle goes. Come on, England!
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.
To an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share and get involved. Join us next time.